Evening shadows lengthened across the street as Miriam tried to find the courage to face what awaited her at her in-laws' house. Before we go any further, let's take a step back. In the meantime, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our future exciting stories. It was a cool autumn evening when Miriam, with her heart in her throat, found herself knocking on the door of Luca's parents' house. She had often heard of them, but tonight's meeting was different. It was loaded with a weight that the young woman could not ignore. When the door opened, she was greeted with a warm smile and a loving hug. It seemed that everything was going well. Luca, with eyes full of affection, introduced Miriam to his parents, Elisa and Giovanni. "Finally, Miriam. It's a pleasure to meet you. You really are beautiful," Elisa said, inviting everyone to sit down. But the atmosphere suddenly changed when Miriam, with a trembling voice, said, "I have important news to give you." Miriam's breathing became shallow, as if the air itself had become heavy and difficult to breathe in. Now all eyes were on her. Miriam didn't want to beat around the bush and said straight away, "I'm pregnant." The room filled with tense silence. Elisa turned pale, surprised and confused. "Unexpected news, but beautiful," she managed to say. But it didn't end there. Luca, in a state of anxiety, took a deep breath, looking Miriam in the eyes for a moment before turning to his parents. "Mom, Dad, there's something very important you need to know," he began, his voice shaking with palpable tension. Miriam squeezed Luca's hand, seeking courage in his touch. Elisa and Giovanni exchanged a worried look. "What's wrong, Luca?" Giovanni asked, his tone betraying growing anxiety. "Is something wrong?" Luca searched for the right words to say. Miriam felt her heart beating wildly. Every second seemed like an eternity, every breath a weight weighing on them. Giovanni, with furrowed brows, urged his son to continue. "Luca, what is it? Speak to us, please." Luca had to tell the truth. There was nothing else to do. If you like the story, give it a precious like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. Luca squeezed Miriam's hand even tighter, feeling the tension growing. "The baby, here. The child is not mine," he said finally, his voice breaking with emotion. "The baby belongs to Miriam's ex-boyfriend, who abandoned her as soon as he found out about the pregnancy." Elisa's face instantly hardened, an explosive silence filling the room as the reality of Luca's words sank into their minds. "What?" Giovanni exclaimed, trying to keep calm. "Luca, are you sure you want to go through all this?" Miriam felt a knot in her stomach. She knew it wouldn't be easy, but she hadn't expected such a harsh reaction. Eliza, furious, shouted, "Miriam, you can't just grab the first boy you find to help you." John, trying to calm his wife, said, "We can't judge her like this. We don't know her past and what she's been through." Miriam, with tears in her eyes, replied, "I didn't choose this situation, but I'm trying my best to get out of it. Luca was the only one who was close to me in this difficult moment." "I can't believe you got pregnant and he left you like this without even thinking about it," Elisa exclaimed. "Giovanni, tell me if this is normal." "Normal or not, we have to look beyond appearances. I repeat, we cannot know what Miriam has been through," Giovanni replied, in a firm but calm tone. Miriam felt a lump in her throat loosen slightly. Elisa turned to her son with an expression of disbelief. "Luca, do you understand what you're doing? This is a complicated situation. You can't make decisions so lightly." Luca, with a calm but firm voice, replied, "Mum, I know what I'm doing. I love Miriam, and I want to be there for her. This baby needs a family, and I'm willing to be part of that family." "Luca, you've only been together for 2 months. How can you be so sure?" Elisa replied. And she continued to argue the woman did not want to accept this condition. But John suddenly stopped her. "Remember, children are a gift. Imagine if she were our daughter, we would hope she would find someone who would love and support her." This had a strong impact on Elisa. She began to reflect and see the situation from another perspective. After an exchange of opinions in a calm and peaceful tone, Elisa came to a conclusion. "You're right, you know? Maybe I didn't consider how difficult it could be for you, Miriam." Luca took Miriam's hand, looking into her eyes. "I love you, and I want to raise this child with you. No matter what people say, we know what's right for us." Miriam began to feel lighter and more loved. Giovanni came over and hugged Miriam. "Welcome to our family," he said with a slight smile. Miriam felt a warmth inside her that she hadn't felt in a long time. Elisa finally came closer and hugged her, whispering, "I'm sorry. I was unfair. I hope you can forgive me." Miriam was silent for a moment, then replied, "I understand your concerns, Elisa. I was afraid too, but I'm trying to do my best for this child's future." Elisa nodded. Hopeful for the future of the young people, she felt a weight lift from her chest. The evening ended with laughter and smiles, a new beginning for everyone. In the end, the family had grown, and their life was enriched with a new love, teaching everyone that family is not just a matter of blood, but of heart. Have you ever judged someone without knowing their story? And how would you react if you were Luca's parents, faced with such a delicate situation?